Good evening, I'm Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. UMNO President Zahid Hamidi had some explaining to do in court after PMO denied scheduling a meeting with politicians yesterday after Zahid had his corruption trial postponed. This is what he said. Yesterday, UMNO President Zahid Hamidi's lawyers convinced the Kuala Lumpur High Court to postpone his corruption case on grounds that he had to attend an important meeting with the Prime Minister on the formation of a new cabinet. But things got a little awkward after the Prime Minister's department denied there will be any such meetings with political leaders that day. Today things got even more awkward when UMNO President Zahid Hamidi was unable to produce to the High Court a letter from the Prime Minister's department which purportedly contained an invitation for a meeting with the Prime Minister. In his explanation to KL High Court Judge Colin Lawrence Sequeira, Zahid said he had spoken to the Prime Minister's political secretary, but since he has yet to be officially appointed and taken his oath, therefore the invitation letter and the letter to explain the purpose of the meeting could not be issued by that officer. Calling the whole episode a misunderstanding, Zahid also apologized to the court, saying he had no intention to mislead the court. He also expressed his respect for the judge and court. Zahid is facing a total of 47 charges, 12 of which are CBT, 8 for bribery and 27 for money laundering, involving tens of millions of ringgit belonging to Yayasan Akal Budi, a charitable foundation he founded. Should people be allowed to express themselves through peaceful protests? Let us know in the comment section. This is an important question because we're talking about what happened to lawyer Fadia today. Activist Fadia Fikri was summoned to Bukit Aman this morning over a public rally on Saturday following the collapse of the Pakatan Harapan government. A group of about 20 people gathered outside the National Police headquarters in solidarity with the lawyer.
It's not about me, it's about us. It's about Malaysians who feel disgusted by what's going on. And I'm going to go in with my lawyers. I'll come back and update everyone to what will transpire inside. Okay, I'm currently being investigated for sedition under Section 4 of the Sedition Act and also Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act.
Manso! Akta hasutan!
Fadia was alleged to have uploaded a post online calling for people to attend the protest against the betrayal over the current political crisis and the collapse of the Pakatan Harapan government. Previously, Bukit Aman CID Director Huzair Muhammad said that Fadia is being investigated under Section 4.1 of the Sedition Act and Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act. Bad news for Harapan in Malacca. They're no longer the state government. Bukit Katal Assemblyperson Adli Azhari is no longer Chief Minister of Malacca. He said he did not tender his resignation after losing majority support, but was informed yesterday evening that he was no longer Chief Minister. Adli said he had proposed for the State Assembly to be dissolved, but his request was rejected by Governor Muhammad Khalil Yaakob.
Memang di peringkat kerajaan negeri sudah menjawab bahawa mereka tidak bercadang untuk membubarkan Dewan, tetapi sebenarnya bagi saya kerajaan itu tidak boleh terbentuk hanya kerana dengan tanggungjawab 3 atau 4 orang ataupun kerana isu-isu yang dibangkitkan di peringkat negeri itu sendiri.
The Malacca Pakatan Harapan government collapsed last week after Bersatu and its 2 assembly persons quit the coalition. They have band together with BN to form a Perikatan National State Government. Yesterday, 2 other assembly persons, DAP Pangkalan Batu assembly person Nur Hizam Hassan Bakti, known as DAP's Hulk, and PKR's Rambia assembly person Muhammad Jailani Kames, also defected to support the new PN government. With so much going on, let's not forget that former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak's SRC International Graft trial is still ongoing. Fugitive businessperson Jolo said he had no control over former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak's bank accounts. This was according to Lo's statement made to the MACC when he was questioned in Abu Dhabi, UAE on November 27, 2015. The statement was tendered to the Kuala Lumpur High Court during Najib's SRC International Graft trial today. Lo said that while he may have shared his views to Najib on 1MDB and SRC International, he did not have the power to decide for others. He also denied managing Najib's credit cards and said that he did not have access to any of Najib's accounts. The statement by Lo runs contrary to the defense case, which paints Lo as someone who had pulled the strings without Najib's knowledge. Today, the Youth and Sports Ministry held a farewell party for Syed Saddiq, the country's youngest minister. He may be out of the ministry, but he's still in Bersatu. Bersatu Youth Chief Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman has vowed to keep fighting the corrupt, but he has indicated he'll be doing it by remaining in Bersatu.
Maybe will you remain with Bersatu?
Yeah. Let me get that done first. Okay? Thank you.
Have you
Thank
decided
you
yet, or are you still thinking about it?
No, I'm still in Bersatu. But you know why I'm in Bersatu? Because the struggles of Bersatu is to reject the corrupt and those who abuse power. And I believe that I will fight them, and I'll fight them hard to ensure that Bersatu rises up as a party which fight those who are corrupt, and that the Malays should never ever align themselves with those who are corrupt. What's the purpose of having temporary power but permanently have our moral conscience tainted?
Syed Saddiq lost his post when the cabinet was dissolved following Dr. Mahathir Mohamad's resignation as Prime Minister last Monday. During last week's political crisis, Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin took the party out of Pakatan Harapan to form a new pact with UMNO, MCA, MIC PAS and Gabungan Parti Sarawak. The move split the party between him and Dr. Mahathir, who rejoined Harapan in a bid to return as Prime Minister. Muhyiddin was eventually sworn in as the 8th Prime Minister on Sunday. Coming up next, there appears to be a spike in confirmed coronavirus cases in Malaysia and around the globe. Somalia's answer to mental illness may leave you scratching your head. All that and more after this. Our next story is brought to you by Blue Air. There is a spike in the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Malaysia. Malaysia has recorded 7 new COVID-19 cases today, bringing the total number of cases in the country to 36. This was revealed in a statement by the Prime Minister's department after Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin attended a briefing on the country's economic situation and the latest developments concerning COVID-19. The department said of the 36 cases, 22 have recovered and 14 are still being treated at the Sungai Buloh and Kuala Lumpur hospitals. Malaysia recorded its first 4 cases on January 25th, and the total stood at 22 since February 16. There were no new COVID-19 cases for 11 days until February 27th. Since then, Malaysia has recorded 14 new cases in under a week. Malaysia isn't the only country with a spike. Let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 situation around the globe. The coronavirus appears to be spreading much more rapidly outside China, and airports in hard-hit countries are ramping up screening of travellers. At a briefing in Geneva, World Health Organization Chief Tedros Adhanom said almost 8 times as many cases have been reported outside China as inside in the past 24 hours, adding that the risk of coronavirus spreading was now very high at a global level. He said outbreaks in South Korea, Italy, Iran and Japan were the greatest concern. The global death toll has exceeded 3,000, and there are more than 60 countries with confirmed cases of COVID-19. In the United States, officials were concerned about a likely jump in the number of cases, saying that more testing will surely lead to more confirmed cases. There are more than 90 confirmed cases, with 6 deaths in the United States. South Korea had 26 deaths and reported another 599 infections on Monday, taking its total to over 4,000. But Wuhan itself, at the center of the epidemic, shut the first of the 16 specially built hospitals that were hurriedly put up to treat coronavirus cases, according to Chinese state broadcaster CCTV. There was also a steep fall in new cases in Hubei, the province around Wuhan, but China remained on alert for people returning home with the virus from other countries. With a lack of trained psychiatrists in Somalia, some suffering from depression are turning to hyenas for treatment. In the absence of conventional therapies, many people are turning to traditional healers in Somalia, and in some cases this means coming face to face with a hyena. Muhammad Yaqub, who suffers from depression, is hoping the animal will frighten away the evil spirits he says have troubled him since his divorce. This traditional therapy is rooted in the belief that hyenas devour the jinns and evil spirits that causes depression or mental illness. Muhammad was brought to Adan Igal, known as Dr. Hyena, by his brother Abdi.
My brother went mad after our father ordered him to divorce his beloved wife. He told him to marry another wife. After that, his wife left him, and day after day he developed headaches and started crying whenever he saw his wife. He became mad, and we brought him here for treatment.
Historically, mentally ill people were locked in rooms with unrestrained hyenas, leaving them at risk of injury or even death. But Dr. Hyena says there have been no injuries since he started his practice 4 years ago, as he keeps his hyena in a cage. As well as the animal welfare concerns this may arise, mental health professionals are skeptical about the therapy's effectiveness. But in a country where, according to the World Health Organization, there are only 3 trained psychiatrists, patients of Dr. Hyena say there are few alternatives. And here are more headlines from today. And that is all for me today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching. But before we go, we bring you the visuals of the farewell party of Malaysia's youngest minister.
Wait,